About that Christmas morning bombing that took place in Nashville. The suspect has been identified as 63-year-old Anthony Warner. 3 people were injured. We know a number of buildings there were damaged. And you can imagine on Christmas morning when people woke up to this news at such an early hour, some of the thoughts that were running through their minds about what is this exactly? Is this an act of domestic terrorism? Is it foreign terrorism? I mean, Nashville sort of is a city that represents Americana in a lot of ways, and symbolically to carry out an act like this, if it were an act of terrorism on Christmas Day, would send a very strong message. Well, Josh Breslow is an anchor at WKRN. He's with our sister station, with Nexstar's Nashville station, and he was working on Christmas morning when all of this began to unfold, and he's joining us now. Josh, it's good to see you. I've worked many a Christmas morning anchoring the newscast, and it's generally a very light and happy newscast. You show up, you hope that you're greeting people who are at home opening presents and waking up in the morning, and the crew has their own sort of Christmas morning celebration. It took a turn for you and the folks who live there in Nashville very quickly. Describe for me, as that information began coming in, what were some of your first thoughts?
Well, it's interesting because, like you said, when you're anchoring a show on Christmas, I mean, I'm wearing a Santa tie at the time. We're doing these lighthearted stories, and we have a crew that's out at the shelter where people are feeding the homeless. And then next thing you know, we're sitting in here around 6:30 in the morning, about to go into our final half hour of news. All of a sudden, there's a sound, and then the lights that are at the top of the studio just start shaking all over the place. And we're like, hey, what is that? It didn't seem like a normal thing to happen, to have everything start to shake. And then you start checking the cameras and you realize, okay, there's a lot of smoke downtown. What is this? And that's what you're seeing in that video there. And then we find out it's a bombing. An RV in the middle of that popular street there had blown up. So at first you wonder, is this an intentional act? Is this an accident where it was just a vehicle that, exploded for some reason? And then you find out this is a situation where somebody actually blew up an RV on purpose.
And there was a warning, was there not, from that RV, which is another very interesting and unique part of this, an announcement for people to evacuate the streets, which leads us to believe to some degree that this person wasn't intending to hurt others?
That was our understanding here, because it sounds like what had played from talking to the officers and the witnesses is that it was playing a countdown that was coming from the actual van, or the RV rather, but then also was playing a message saying, evacuate the area, don't get any closer. And then also playing, kind of intermittent with that, it was playing Petula Clark's Downtown, which obviously is a very popular song from the 1960s that a lot of people know, and we're talking about downtown Nashville. So it sounds like this guy did everything he could to make sure that people weren't anywhere near it when he exploded. So it's a lot of questions about, why did he do this? What was the purpose behind it? It does not appear he meant for anyone to get injured. There were 3 injuries, but they were all minor injuries. 2 officers were technically injured. One of them fell to the ground but didn't have to be treated, and another had temporary hearing loss, but his hearing returned later on in the day.
Well, there's some reason to think maybe he had some sense of paranoia about 5G technology and the extent to which that might be compromising our privacy. I mean, again, we don't know all of the details. We're just piecing this together, and there could be some of this information that FBI and other investigators are withholding and not making public for the sake of not compromising the investigation. One last question before I let you go, and I haven't checked this morning, but it appears as if the morning of and in the days after, the president, we know, didn't acknowledge in any way through Twitter, which is his main form of communication, anything about this act. And how did that strike people who live in the Nashville area? Any response from your viewers about that?
Yeah, so we've actually received a lot of messages from people asking if we have reached out to President Trump, because obviously normally he will actually go ahead and tweet it out. That, as you mentioned, is his main form of communication, but that hasn't happened. He did release a statement through his spokesperson after we reached out, and basically said that he was being briefed on it the same way that President-elect Joe Biden was being briefed on it. But after that, we heard nothing else about it at all. And still, to my knowledge, no actual statement has been made about it. A lot of people, I'm sure there's people on both sides of the situation here, but a lot of the comments that we're seeing are from people who live in the area who say, hey, you're the president. Why are you not making a statement about this?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it'll change.
Yeah, and we'll see as more developments come forth whether or not the president has anything to say about it as well. Thank you very much, Josh Breslow from our sister station, WKRN there in Nashville. We really appreciate it. Again, Josh working on that Sunday morning when the explosion went off in downtown Nashville. And as we talk about the president, as this relates to so many of you at home, that stimulus package for $900 billion was